Hey everybody, this is Mark,
And this is Justin.
and this is Awkward Fist Bump Productions. Boom! Okay, before we start today, first of all, sorry about last week. I know we didn't put out a video. I have a bulging disc and sciatic pain that hit me all of a sudden last week. I've been out of work for about a week, and so sorry, but I was just in a lot of pain and couldn't do anything, and I'm still not even 100%. But at least I'm getting better. So I felt like we
Sorry.
needed to do a video this week. This week we had planned on interviewing a guest. The guest didn't show up. And unfortunately, Ashley has been driving for 3 days. So she's kind of just tuckered out. So we're going to just go on, and me and Justin are going to go ahead and do a video today. And we're just going to talk about some things. But before we jump into that, I hope you're enjoying our content. We've been trying to provide you with good quality content. Please like, share, subscribe to our videos, and just, man, join in the conversation below. Comment below. If you really, really like our video, we've got a couple of Patreon supporters. We would love for you to support us as well so we can get better audio equipment, better computer equipment, and just bring a more professional quality show. Go to patreon.com/AFBP. All the links for following us on our Facebook groups, our Instagram groups, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, are in the description below. So, anyway, without further ado, what are we talking about today, Justin?
Christmas time being locked up.
Christmas time being locked up. So, should we preface this with like a song? Like jingle bells,
No,
jingle
we
bells,
should not.
jingle.
I don't
No?
don't think so. No.
No jingle bells?
No.
That might be the part where we see a lot of people stop the video when we look at the analytics later. They were like, oh my gosh, the guy's singing, he's lost his mind. So talk to us about it, buddy. I mean, because even though me and Ashley have done 60 days in, I was out in April, so I never have been incarcerated during Christmas time. So, I mean, I've worked in a facility as an officer during Christmas time, and I can speak about it from that standpoint, but never as an inmate. So go ahead, brother.
All right. So holidays and being locked up. Well, first off, being locked up, it's a crappy place to be in. It's a crappy situation. A lot of people are in very, very bad moods. And so a lot of the other people, they try their best to make it the best time as possible, even though, the best situation out of it. So, county really sucked because there's not that much to do. So being in the county kind of sucks because like there's no movement, there's not that much that you can really get a hold of in there, and I'm talking about like extra food, different kinds of food to make your pockets better. A video I will be making hopefully pretty soon about making a Bombay, which is a drink, not an alcohol drink. It's like an energy drink, and in the every county's store is different. So the county I was in, they didn't have all the ingredients to make it. They didn't sell coffee on the store. They just sold sodas.
So was Bombay a drink that you drank seasonally, usually around Christmas time? Would y'all make it? Is that why you bring it up?
Yeah. Like we would like holidays and birthdays and like big events. We would always, Super Bowl, big fights, UFC fights. I mean, there's a lot of us like Bombay drinkers who do it all the time, and then there's people who just do it, but it's always a big deal around holidays, birthdays, and like big events on TV, Super Bowl, World Series, big UFC fights, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll definitely have a video about that pretty soon. But like doing time in prison and around Christmas time, it's a little bit better, and it also depends on where you're at, but they will give you like a care package. So some prisons, like when I was at Waycross, it was kind of cool because the warden had his own package, and then the chaplain had his own package. So the chaplain would get donations from different churches and organizations and build a package. And one year I actually got to help put that package together, and that was pretty cool. I mean, we were up in the chapel, or no, we were in a visitation, so the whole visitation was just slap full of goods, and we were making bags and made sure that this item had one in it, this item, soups, this kind of item had two in it. But
Right.
and it was a big deal in between the chaplain and the warden who had the best package every year. So that was kind of cool. And then other camps, it's like uh the the warden would just do like a big candy bar and a soda and maybe popcorn. Like they had the popcorn machines because like once every few months and like once again I said like during holidays like they would do something for us. So like they would pop popcorn for everybody, fresh popcorn. So and then we would get a state package, and the state package is usually about I would say probably $8 to $12 worth of stuff, and it's like maybe a couple of soups, a soda, some candy bars, and like some honey buns or something like that in it. So I mean, those are pretty cool to get, especially for the people who don't have anything.
Hmm.
But then you know how much gambling's going on, so it's always fun to use free money. So when everybody would like people who usually wouldn't get into pockets, they would use that bag to get into a pocket for Christmas or something. Um, all people who wouldn't always gamble, they would usually gamble around that time because they had free money. So I mean, the atmosphere kind of changes when those packages come in, and it makes it more lively, and they try to make a good time out of it.
So let's discuss chow during Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that. Do the cafeterias, well, whatever you want to use it, the chow halls, do they try to feed you, Christmas catered food, if you will, to
Not,
make you feel Christmassy?
uh, yeah, they put some cranberries on the side. No, like it's it's really like some of them is kind of okay, but I mean it's a heavier tray, and if you've never done time, what I'm saying is like most of the trays are very light. There's not that much food on them, and so like you said, Thanksgiving and Christmas and like the Fourth of July, the trays are heavy because they're just slap full of stuff, and sometimes it's like a whole tray full of stuff and the styrofoam full of a few other things.
Hmm.
You'll have like your dessert and your rolls and something else in a styrofoam, and then the tray will be slapped with food like turkey and green bean casserole, stuffing, cranberry sauce, and stuff like that. Um, so, but what how they do it is like I think on the Fourth of July they do it the day before,
Hmm.
and I mean I can't believe I can't remember. I think I can't remember if Christmas and Thanksgiving's the day before also, and then it's basically normal food on the actual day. And the reason when they do that, when they do feed you the holiday meal the day before, is because not that many officers are working on that holiday.
Hmm.
So anytime there's a big tray, it's a big deal in there. And so people are trying to, we call it doo-wop, going through the line twice.
Hmm.
So there's extra officers watching the line, making sure that people aren't, excuse me, sneaking back through the line. They try to catch people taking food out because a lot of times if there's something good, like especially like the Fourth of July tray, there's hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that. You're trying to take that back to the dorm so that you can actually fix it up. If you have some like jalapenos and different chips and stuff like that, you actually want to make a meal back in your dorm with it. Or if you use the meat for a topping, if you make a spread or a pocket,
Hmm.
you'll use that meat for a topping. Um, so they try to stop people from taking stuff out of the chow hall in the kitchen. So there's always going to be around the holidays, like leading up to it, there's going to be extra officers, but usually the day of the holiday, there's not that many officers because on those days there's very minimal movement except for visitation. Um,
Right.
but yeah, so like the trays are heavier, there's more food on them, and I mean, it's chain gang food. It's disgusting, but for what it is, it's pretty good though.
Right. Okay, so how about the mindsets of the officers, the staff? Do they try anything in your experience to at least say, "Hey, Merry Christmas"? At least, because I know it sucks to be incarcerated right during Christmas,
Oh
but at
yeah,
least try to lighten the mood a little bit.
oh yeah. Um, I wouldn't. I mean, very very few officers are kind of like joyful and Merry Christmas, but then there's like there's inmates also that kind of deter them from being that way because depending on what part of the prison you're at, they're like, I don't want to hear that, and like they're and they have the really Grinch attitude,
Mhm.
But
Maybe in their defense, though, they're there with you on Christmas and they don't want to be at work.
and they don't want to be, yeah. So but like when I was doing the dog program, so
Hmm.
that dorm, the whole building was 900. So 900 and 800 every year around Christmas would actually decorate. And the warden let us decorate. And at first, the first couple years, he would only let those two dorms decorate. And then the other dorms really didn't do anything. Finally, the last few years, all the dorms started decorating. And they're like, how can you decorate? Well, we would be able, it's the end of the year, so they would be able to clean out like all the closets up in education and all of the extra excess stuff that they had up there, like the different colored stuff to put on the wall to make billboards. And um, so we would able to get a lot of that, and then we would get cardboard boxes. And
Right.
like the store people, around December would start saving boxes instead of throwing them away, and walk around to dorms and pass them out. Or, sometimes they let us go to the door and ask them, hey, do y'all have any boxes? And they let us bring boxes back to the dorm. And we would just take razors and cut them up and make designs. And, um, I mean, a lot of times we would have to look online and try to figure out, sometimes the people who would never use phones or get on phones, they would ask their family members to print stuff off. And
Hmm.
then some people who had phones, they would look on like Google search, like how to handcraft different like snowflakes and just like different decorations. And so, I mean, but it would be crazy, man, because you would walk down into these dorms, and then like people from other parts of the prison would sneak down during chow and try to come into our dorms, I mean, into our buildings and walk around and see how much work we've done down there. Because we would like the two 800 to 900 had more people that worked in the school, so they were able to get more material than the other dorms were. And some of the other dorms, they really did get upset about that, but a lot of people would sneak down like during chow and try to sneak in there and walk around the pod real quick. I mean, around the dorm real and just look at everybody's decorations, because we
Yeah.
would go all out. Like I'm gonna have, I really want to try to get a couple people on here that I've done time with, and once they're released and all that, and actually talk about it, because I'm telling you, man, we did some amazing stuff out of nothing.
That is kind of funny. It's kind of like, here in the on the outside world, you'll get people that'll drive around looking at Christmas decorations,
Yep.
and there you have inmates trying to sneak around so they can look at Christmas decorations. So,
It's exactly the same. Yeah, that's
mhm,
exactly what they would do.
mhm.
Like, and it was crazy. They really would do that. They would sneak down there during chow if they called church or something like that. They are like during the day during movement. People would come down there, and some people got locked up. Not that often. They just tell them go back to your dorm or whatever,
Yeah,
because they knew what they were doing. They were just coming to
yeah.
look at the decorations. But like, and when I tell you we would go all out, like it was so fun because we would have a good time doing it. Like we, most of the dorm would like come together and help make it. Like a long funny story, but like we made a wreath the size of, if you've ever seen one of the big round Rubbermaid tables, like the
Hmm.
huge ones, we've made a wreath that big around. Like we cut out the boxes and taped them together to make one big circle, and then we took wrappers for chip bag wrappers and soup wrappers, and like we would have to save them up for weeks ahead of time to make all these different decorations. And we would just rinse them out, clean them out, and then put them in a trash bag and save them. And then we would just cut it up into little squares, like itty bitty squares, and then we cut the cardboard into X, and then with like a pin or something, push it through. And then when you turned it and then like pull it back, and then we glued it. We had a little bit of white, the Elmer's glue, and then it looked like a huge colorful wreath with like the silver was the inside of a chip bag, and then the
Hmm.
green, the chili, and the red I think it's the beef or something. So like it was all different colors, and then like it was, but it was just trash. Like it was just chip bags and stuff.
So let's talk about the mindset. Do you see a lot of depression, a lot of suicide attempts during Christmas because people are locked up during what's supposed to be a festive and happy time of year?
Yeah, it's like during the holiday seasons and the heat of the summer are like the two worst times.
Hmm.
Like the hottest part of the summer, like those 3 months, and then the holidays are the worst. And I wish I knew the name of the website. I'm gonna have to tell you on another video, but there's a website for the Georgia Department of Georgia family members and inmates and stuff like that. And I've been on that website, and man, I've just been seeing so much stuff going on. The last camp I was at, and I just found out today, two people tried to commit suicide. I think one was successful last week. There
Mm.
was somebody who, I don't know if it was a gang, something happened, somebody got jumped and ended up dying, and then somebody killed himself, but he had mental health issues. So like during the holidays, it's really bad. I mean, because like I said, like the guys that are like the Grinch, some of those guys, they don't have family members. They're never going home. They have really long sentences. They haven't been home in 10, 15 years. They might not be going home for another 10 or 15 years. So a lot of those guys, it's hard for them to get into a good mindset because
Mm.
they've seen so much crap and they just are going through so much,
Mm.
and they just feel like there's no hope for them. And so like it's really tough on a lot of people. Now the people that have family members, they can talk to them, they get Christmas cards, they might get a visit, and they get to use the phone and talk to them, then those are people that are in better moods because they have more to look forward to.
Mm.
But the people who don't have family members, are they've burned so many bridges that their family members don't even talk to them because they've just burned so many bridges, been in and out of prison for so many times. Those people go through it, and it's really hard to do time around that kind of people,
Mm.
because like if you talk to your family member and they told you something good that's going on, and oh, they're gonna meet up for Christmas, and then they send you some money, so you're happy that you're gonna get some money to make a big spread for the holidays. You're in a good mood because, and you might get some Christmas pictures, and so you're happy. But then there's this guy a bunk beside you that hasn't talked to his family in 5, 10 years and hasn't
Mm.
got money in years, and so it's kind of hard to do time around certain people like that.
So it almost sounds like there's a division. You got people that are either really really happy or
Hmm.
really really depressed.
Yeah. So it's a 50-50. Like it's a good, it's never a good time to do time, but if you're in the right situation with the right people around you, it can be good. And fortunately, not my whole bid, but some of my bid, I was around good people, and we made the best out of the situation. So holidays were easier for a good portion of my time, but not all the time.
Hmm.
But like I said, like even in the worst storms, there are they really do try to make the best of it. They try to, there's people who don't have money. They try to bring people in, or when they're adding up like how much to make, like how much it's going to cost to make it for everybody. They kind of add a little extra for everybody that has money, and then
Hmm.
they pass out bowls to people who don't have anything.
Okay.
So they'll feed it, and then there's a like another another story for another time. But I was in the faith-based dorm for a year, and it was not what I thought it was, and I wish I never went through that. But that's another story. But that dorm, every year, like they make it where everybody that has money, they try their best to get everybody to pitch in. If you're going to eat on this thing, pitch in. And they even start saving up ahead of time, and having soups weeks and weeks and weeks before,
Hmm.
so that they have enough to feed every single person in the dorm.
Oh,
So
that's
they,
cool.
yeah, they do it. And there's other dorms that have done it, but it's really hard if you're in a dorm that's mixed with different gangs and different religions and stuff like that, it's really hard. But I've seen it where there's about 2 or 3 dorms that have actually every year for Christmas and Thanksgiving made a meal and everybody in the dorm ate.
And that's a good point. So let's say, because there's a lot of people in prison that don't have money. So you would actually see people come together and, hey, if you have money, put in. But if
Hmm.
not, it's okay. We'll feed you. You saw a lot of that too, a lot of good spirit.
Oh yeah, a lot of good spirits. And like, well, a lot of the guys I was around, we would find the people that weren't always begging, because I mean, people that don't have money and they beg all the time, they don't get that much love from people. But the people who do earn their time, there's minding their own business. They don't come around and beg for coffee and soups every single day.
Hmm.
And you see those kind of people, like, man, those are generally good-hearted people, and they don't want nothing for nothing, like they don't want something for nothing back. And so we try to find those people and feed them. So when we end, like when we're ending up writing out the list of what we need, we always like, all right, well, we need a little extra to put somebody else in. So
Right.
and a lot of times we do it without even them knowing.
Right.
like like we'll just tell them the morning of, or in the middle of us cooking, hey, go make sure your bowl's clean and everything's ready because we're gonna feed you this afternoon. And then like their eyes light up like, what? So that's pretty cool.
Well, good stuff. Well, brother, I think we are at a good stopping point. We here at the Awkward Fist Bump Productions family want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, a very Happy New Year. We will try to post something next week, but due to our filming rotation, our filming schedule ourselves, I don't know with everybody doing Christmas and stuff like that. I don't know that we'll be filming something. If we do, then we'll definitely say Merry Christmas again. But if we don't, we love
Merry
y'all.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hope the holiday season has been festive for you, and we love you guys. We are so humbled by the followers.
Thank you
So
so
just to give you
much.
just to give you guys an idea, we started in July, and here it is December, and I believe we have about 1,800 followers, subscribers, and many
Yeah.
more that watch our videos. So we want to thank you, and
Thank
we
you.
want to
Thank you.
wish y'all a very, very Merry Christmas. So
Blessings.
we're gonna give y'all a Merry Christmas fist bump.
Bam.
Boom.
Merry
All right, y'all.
Christmas.
We'll talk to y'all later.